Hey guys, so the main purpose of recording this video is I really wanted to talk to people who had appeared for CAT exam this year, and they have got their results. So really wanted to interact with them. This is Sunday morning, and so I'm not going to office today. So I thought of using this time to maybe guide a few of you and maybe share your happiness, maybe your regrets, maybe your sadness, and that has actually brought me here to record this video for you all people. Now, first of all, I would like to congratulate everybody who has fared well in inside this CAT exam. You people have really worked hard for this, and I can well feel that because whenever I see somebody posting their scorecards on social networking sites or anywhere, uh, it brings a sort of a nostalgia for me, and I start thinking about my preparation times when every day was full of ups and downs. So one time of the day, like, I was quite excited. Oh my god, I've got this much number in the mock test, and the next time, like after 3 or 4 hours when I appear for another mock test, I'm like, oh, so I've got lesser this time. So life is all about that. Like, life is a wave which is made up of crest and troughs, and but the point is that isn't it, that is what makes it very much interesting. So if there were no crests, there were no troughs, right? You would have been living a very mundane life, and you would be, disinterested maybe to live this kind of a life. So let's let's appreciate this fact of life, that it goes up, it goes down, and this happens at every part of your career, every part of your life. Even if you get into uh, the holy trinity, that is Ahmedabad, Bangalore, or Calcutta, you get into the top 10 B schools, right? um, you get into the top B schools inside the world also, right? Once you come into your professional life, right, this again happens over there as well, right? Some days you'll feel very much confident about the work that you are doing, and on the other day, right, you'll be quite depressed, you'll be quite frustrated, you would start feeling that you're not that much productive enough for the company and for yourself as well. So this goes on, right? So people who have performed really well, congratulations to them. You people have done right, really have made me proud, right? And I seriously become proud of the success of others, because um that makes me feel proud of the fact that we all people are all trying to spread the positivity around us, and success in a way brings positivity for 100 more people who are attached to you. So success has a very important role to play, isn't it? Even for those people who are failing, like suppose a person gets successful because of his hard work, that actually motivates hundreds of people who are around you, to work hard to improve upon their skill sets, and come out victorious in maybe in the next exam in which they're going to appear. Now, this video is especially for people who have not fared so well, or who have not got marks, right, or who have not got percentiles which they expected. So let me tell you, uh, I have a number of people in my batch, right, or maybe before my batch, right, who have done really well in CAT, and but were not able to do well in their first attempt or second attempt or in the third attempt. And there are many people, right, who have done exceptionally well inside their fourth attempt or maybe fifth attempt, right? And there were people who had left their jobs, right? And there were people who were struggling a lot with their life, right, when they were actually preparing for CAT. So let me tell you a small story over here. So that story is very much is actually my story, right? So it may not be that much big, but yeah, it actually mattered to me a lot while I was preparing for CAT. So after my engineering, obviously I went for a job, and started doing it with all my hearts out. And but there was always a constant, thing inside my mind, right? I have to do an MBA from a good Premier B school, and I was not getting time right while I was working, and used to take out 1 or 2 hours, tried to take out 1 or 2 hours every day, and was becoming very difficult. Was becoming very difficult, and I switched my job again to find out that it's not that easy to take out hours, like to prepare for exams, like which involve a lot of competition. So there are people like who had prepared along with their job and who were able to manage their time properly, but then there were also people like me, like who were not able to take out time, right, and who were not able to manage their time that well that they can actually crack exams like CAT. um, Later on, like after 2 years of working, approximately 2 years of working, I joined a company, right, where I could actually find out an ample amount of time, for preparing for CAT. Started, so I had given my first attempt while I was in fourth year of engineering, and I had just ended, with my percentile in 60s. So, and let me tell you, I had prepared, right? I had prepared and I had given around, 2 to 3 hours every week for this preparation for around 4 months. So 60s, right? This was really bad, right? And I used to think that this exam just involves aptitude. This exam just involves some basic English or basic DI, and I could easily get a percentile in excess of 80 or 85, right? Even if I am not that well prepared, but it didn't happen that way. So one thing we must understand over here is that it's not about the questions. It's not about the syllabus which is there, because there's no syllabus for CAT at all. It's not about the content of the questions. It's more about the competition which you are facing, right? It's more about the people with whom you're actually competing to. The top 20,000 or the 30,000 of that population, isn't it, works really hard, and they have done really good in their life, right? They're intelligent people, and once I say intelligent people, intelligence is very much a function of your perseverance, your hard work, and how you see things in a better perspective, right? So similarly, right, every failure has to be seen from a good perspective, because let me tell you one thing: every failure has actually got seeds for a bigger success, and this is actually true. So once I got a percentile in 60s, I was shattered. I was like, yeah, this is not my cup of tea. Actually, I went for a job, right? I had got a campus placement, um it's a typical engineering kind of a job. uh, Many of you, right, working for companies will actually realize that. So one year, next year, I had again joined one coaching institute, and started going there on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, and started giving some bit of time in that. And I actually, gave CAT, took CAT, and I got again the percentile was in 80s, and I was like, I'm given my best, but still I'm not able to get a percentile in excess of 90. Is there something wrong in me? Is there something bad? Is there something, right, which is actually, what is that thing which is actually preventing me from getting more than 90 percentile in CAT exam? And I was a very very um, was a person like who used to think very high about myself, right? And still I think very high about myself, because I seriously believe that people have to respect their own selves if they have to respect others. So respect and everything, it all begins from your own self. So remember this thing in mind, right? You have to respect your own self. That's very important. I went back home, thought about it. 2 3 months I was not in the mood to study. Changed my job, right, at that point of time. Was not getting that time again. Starting, like, try to overcome this inertia, and I started preparing for CAT again. And this year I didn't take CAT, because I was like, "Hey, it's not gonna work out for me. I'll find out something else." And a lot of thoughts came in my mind, right, whether this is the right field for me, whether I should go for some other field. Tried exploring a lot of other exams, including the government exams, including a lot of uh, tried exploring civil services as well. Tried exploring, tier B civil services as well, state civil services as well, a number of other private exams, right? A number of other MBA exams. Maybe I was thinking that CAT is not my cup of tea, and getting into, a top 5 or top 10 B school was not at all, not at all inside, my vision. And now visibility, not vision, but visibility. Vision was there, but visibility was not there. So yeah, in life, sometimes things are not visible to you, right? So, but that doesn't mean that your vision will not contain that thing. Strength in life lies in thinking about things which may not seem feasible, but they can be made feasible. And trust me on this thing, a human mind and a human being is strong enough to convert any impossible thing into a possible thing. It's the strength of mind, it's the strength of, your personality, it's the strength of, how strongly you think about a thing that actually works out in your favor. Left my job, quit my job, joined a startup where I had to devote a small amount of time in that, right, every day. I was getting good amount of time, to prepare for my CAT exam. Had to move around a lot, right, for that startup, right. Had to travel a lot, but made sure that wherever I was, I was devoting a bit of time, for my preparations. Also started watching a lot of, a lot of stuff related to management, and tried started looking into the lives of people, right, who have that qualification and are doing great inside the industry. Started reading a lot of books, and that time one book came into my kitty, and that book was The Power of Subconscious Mind. A lot of you must have heard about this book. A lot of you must have read The Alchemist. Power of Subconscious Mind, right? I read that book for around 7 to 8 times throughout my CAT preparation that year. And trust me, like whenever I used to read that book, I used to dream heavily, right? I used to close my eyes. I used to think what I actually want to achieve in my life, and used to visualize those things. And then, a negative thing will come in on the back of my mind. Is it possible? Is it possible? Right. And every time and now, whenever this thing comes at the back of my mind, I was like, no, remove it. And just think about your goal, right? Just think about the things that you actually want to achieve. Close your eyes and just think about that. You have nothing to lose, you have nothing to gain, right? At the end of the day, everybody's dead. But we have a little bit of aspirations in our life. We want to change the life of others. We want to create an impact, right? We want to make things better for others. We want to make things better for people around you. Kept on doing this, right? At the same time, I was preparing. Came my exams, and this was not so easy, right? Let me tell you a small story again, right? I was living in a single room on the third floor of that apartment, and so 4 o'clock in the night, right, I will wake up, right, and every day it used to happen to me. I will wake up, right, and I will, I had a kettle with me, so I will have my coffee. I will make a cup of coffee in that, and I will go to the terrace and will actually stare at the skies, and with, with tears in my eyes someday as well, in the thinking like, "Ki, I'm not able to achieve, right, what I actually want to achieve in my life. Where should I go?" And then I used to challenge that sky, right? Thinking that like whatever happens in my life, I'm not gonna quit. So quitting, so cat may not be my cup of tea, isn't it? But so was quitting was not my cup of tea. And this is what I want to tell to you all people, right? Person who established KFC was, more than 60 years old, right? There were number of people, right? APJ Abdul Kalam, when he came into popularity, he was more than 50 years old. Um, has done a lot of work, right, throughout his life. Success may come at different point of time in everybody's life, but it comes in a big way. But it requires one important thing, which should always be there inside your mind, inside your heart, engraved inside each and every cell of your body, inside your soul, if you believe in that, is that you should not quit. You should not quit whatever happens. You should not stop remaining positive whatever happens. You should not appreciating the success of others whatever happens. You should not stop appreciating, your basic existence. You should not stop appreciating the things which are happening around you. You should not stop appreciating the beauty of nature which is there around you. Go and look out into the sky and you'll see a lot of chaos happening all around there, but still everything, is properly being managed, right? So there is a management inside chaos as well. And imagine, right, once you have got into a good B school, you have learned every concept of management, but once you come into professional life, there's again a lot of chaos over there. And ultimately the entire thing boils down to, how can you align the team properly, how can you work gel well with people, how can you extract the maximum out of the best out of people, right? And best out of yourself as well. How can you, because your productivity will never go up unless or until the people around you are also aligned with you and are actually working with you. Came my CAD exam, did well, right? Got calls from almost all the good IIMs, got calls from FMS, got calls from Exila, right? I was astonished, right? The kind of a profile I had, right? I had flunked in around, five, six subjects inside graduation. Uh, Life was not that stable for me, even in my job life, right? And it was never at all stable, right? Everywhere, right? I was always thinking where to go, where not to go, and all those things. But still, right? Still, after 3 years, I am getting calls from this many IIMs. I'm getting calls from FMS. I'm getting calls from XLRI. So, which people, even with marvelous profiles, it becomes difficult for them to get that, right? Went into the interviews and won't believe me, right? I cracked each and every interview. Each and every interview, I was dead honest inside the interview. Whenever the term failure came, I completely, embraced it. And I had become proud of my failures by that time. I was very proud of my failures by that time. And this is what I think has actually changed my style of thinking. Like, I seriously, whenever I hear the word failure, it brings positivity to my mind. Yes, there is something hidden in that. There's something to learn from that, and there's something bigger, to achieve if there is a failure in life. Bigger impact to be made, right? And this is how I want you people to think about your life. Don't get disheartened. Don't think too much about, about the results. Think what we have to do now, right? Have nothing to lose, nothing to gain. At the end of the day, everybody is dead. But there are aspirations, there are impacts that we want to make in our life, in the life of our loved ones, in the life of the people who are around us, for our country, for our society, for our world. And for that, two words are very important: perseverance and positivity. Keep this in your mind and remember one thing: you are never ever a loser till the time you start thinking that you are actually a loser. It's the thinking which makes all difference. Thank you.